We all have busy lives, and when it comes time to make holiday plans, we often try to make the most of our valuable time by planning our vacations down to the very last details. If nothing else, we certainly have specific destinations in mind. This summer, Jean and I have a 3-week window, and we definitely want to make the most of it. But this time we can't figure out where we want to go, so we hit the road towards the starting point, find a place to camp, and decide to let the adventure unfold as it will. Let the spirit of overlanding be our compass.
You got the drink?
I have the drink.
That's about a bit, isn't it? Where do you want to sit? So one thing that we do often is we'll sit down and just settle into our camp spot. And we've camped here before. This is an awesome spot, but somewhere around the corner we notice there's a motorhome, and it's not bad, but they're loud. So instead of suffering through some noisy neighbors, we are mobile. So let's just book it down the road. The whole point of a getaway is getting away, not sitting with it. So
let's move.
that's I wish we would do more. Beautiful spot, but you could tell the neighbors are going to be a little bit noisier and they are at a distance. So we decided to move. I mean, check this out. There's so many nice spots around here. Well worth moving. We had a great night. It cooled off nicely, slept beautifully, didn't hear a sound, and the white noise of the river, oh, there's just something about that. You sleep so well. So today is the first morning of our long summer trip. We do one of these summer trips every year. Last year, for example, we went to Moab. The year before, We did a loop through BC the year before. Usually these trips are well planned out in the sense that there's a lot of places and things we want to see, or trails we want to experience, or epic camp spots we know we want to go to. This year we're doing a little bit different. I always wanted to set up a trip where basically there is no plan. We just get up in the morning and decide what's next with no sense of direction or really any set plan. So the idea is to find places to go, epic camp spots, consult the maps, and decide where we're going next. So where are we going next?
Here.
There you go.
I don't know where we are. I'm trying to figure out where we are.
You don't know where we are.
Okay. Here's hoping.
Salt and pepper, please.
Oh, yeah. That's the whatever, and the other top is that one there. Just so you know. Okay.
So pretty nice camp spot here, but I don't know if you can hear in the distance. It's loud music. We're at the intersection of some trails, really busy area. Not our cup of tea, so we're gonna push on a little deeper in the bush.
is steep.
That it is.
Talk about a beautiful countryside.
The rolling hills, ice is gorgeous.
It is, isn't it?
Big drop on this side.
Our goal yesterday was to find a better camp spot than where we woke up, and yeah, I think we did that. So now this morning, I think it might be a 1, maybe a 2 coffee morning, and we'll sit down and figure out where we're going next. Our plan is to keep exploring, finding epic campsites wherever we go, and we want to chase the nice weather, the weather forecast, and stay away from the smoke that's been prevalent so far this summer. This spot ticks all the boxes, so I think we're going to stay here for another night, I think, and enjoy this.
A nearby forest fire and localized smoke made incredible colors and a very interesting sunset. Camera never shows it, but this part is really steep. You feel like you're standing right upright on the pedals almost. I think the rock on the right here, you're better off to go over it on the way down, otherwise you're going to turn into it with your right rear tire.
So going down at the top here, go over the right side then.
that rock at the top there.
Copy that.
I know we camp in bear country, but we never really see them. So I wish we would have seen this, a sow black bear with her cub, and the cub wasn't very big. That's what I love about traveling like this. You just find a nice spot to park, break out the cooking utensils, make a brunch, any place, anytime. We don't usually camp at the same place twice, but last night's spot on the river was so nice. So we decided to stay 2 nights there. And it was perfect. And then this morning the wind really picked up and it's time to move on. So we're heading south again, and I don't know, somewhere into Livingstone area. That works?
Yep, works for me.
Find another epic camp spot somewhere and then decide our next move from there. This spot would make a wonderful camp spot, but it's only 2:30-ish, so it's a little bit early to stop. We'll keep looking. I'm sure we can find something nice, if not nicer. But it sure made a great spot to just stop, take a break, and have a bite to eat. Right, Gene?
Correct. It's a great place to stop.
That trail right on in front of you on the right is the one I'm talking about. You want to go check it out or what?
Sure, might as well. We're here.
Well, this is a nice little spot here, but up out on the ridge, great view, but it's a little bit windy. I think we're gonna move on again and go find a different spot. More cows on the road.
Copy that.
And yet more cows on the road.
Well, I think we're at a farm.
So we weren't 100% on that last campsite that we found, so we decided to keep going, and that always pays off. I mean, check this out. What a gorgeous spot. Nestled in the trees, nice and quiet. This will be nice. This will do.
Want to turn this burner off?
Nope. Turn the tank off.
Okay, it's pouring off of the...
And just when you settle in for a nice campfire, you get a little mountain shower. So if we don't lose our fire, I don't think it's gonna last. So we should be able to go back to our fire.
Uh-huh.
But we'd be better off under the awning.
Yes.
Yeah. Change the settings to make it better. Clouded over last night and we had some light rain as we enjoyed a campfire. Rain came on and off, not a big deal. And we had a bit of an earlier night as we went to bed. It started raining, a light rain. And there's just something about light rain on a tent when you go to bed. Slept like a baby. It was awesome. And woke up again, gorgeous morning. And the past few days we've been going south along the Canadian Rockies, and this morning we decided we're going west into British Columbia. Let's go find another epic camp spot.
Pull on the tent.
Oh,
Thank you.
you can reach?
I'm in a hole.
Yeah. Funny.
And it's spackled, it's spotted across the whole mountain.
Doesn't matter where we go nowadays. This summer there's forest fires everywhere.
You would think it would.
Oh yeah, that's not quite the lake they're showing it on map. It's dry.
Deer right in front of me. I do like these wreck sites in BC. They're user maintained, and every time we come across, it's a nice quiet spot, well kept, almost perfect every time. This spot will do for tonight.
What?
I'm trying to keep it separated, it ain't working.
But
Careful hole. Oh, that hole's gonna be a bad place.
it's gonna be a bad place.
My turn?
Mm-hmm. You played them. It's 26, isn't it? Yep.
Could have gone. I need points too.
Yeah, well, too bad. Okay, go.
$20 for 4. So we wake up this morning and we're looking at the map and we're realizing we're so close to the US border and Idaho. And I've never been into Idaho. And we're thinking, you know what? We need to resupply, fuel up, grab some groceries and figure out what we're doing anyway. So I think we're gonna cross into the US, and we're so close to the start of the Idaho BDR. That sounds like a plan for today. But I know one thing, before we cross into the border, we can't cross like this. We need to wash up a little bit.
You're gonna have to help pull. I'm in a hole.
You gotta watch out for that pedestrian traffic, I guess.
How cool is that?
That cut line right there is the border. We are now in the US of A.
Yes, we are.
So the little campground marked on Gaia didn't pan out. It's a couple of tent sites at best. So now it's getting a little bit late. I'm getting hungry and all that. And we're struggling for a camp spot. So let's keep looking. We'll find something somewhere.
So where are we supposed to camp?
Still getting used to Gaia though, but this shows a trail that goes around down to the valley. It's got to open up to something, I hope, but it kind of degrades to a quad trail. Do you want to go give that a try or what?
It beats sitting on the side of the road, so let's go check it out.
let's go a ways, and if it doesn't pan out, we'll go down the road somewhere else.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, there's a little spot here.
Is there at least room for the both vehicles?
Yeah, just gotta figure out which way you want to park yourself.
Well, this will work.
Home for the night it is then.
Well, good morning. We are on the first section of the Idaho Backcountry Discovery Route, or the BDR. We had a bit of a tough time finding a camp spot. There was a national forest campground that we saw on the map. Thought we'd check it out, thinking, it's probably a little bit too much RV for us, if you will. Boy, were we surprised when we showed up there. And there's 3, maybe 4 tent sites that you'd be hard pressed to put a big tent on the pad. It's on the side of the hill, if you will, and very difficult to camp on. I don't think we'd be able to park the Jeep on a level surface. So that was a bit of a surprise. So we ended up coming around just the corner on an old decommissioned logging road, find ourselves on the edge of a mountain with a fantastic view. Just a quiet little spot. We had a great night. Didn't hear a sound. Slept great. Beautiful morning again. If this is our worst camp spot that we find on this trip, we're doing all right. Today is just a carry on down the BDR, and I literally have no idea where we're going next.
Definitely green and leafy, that's for sure.
What a daft little bird.
Hey, this is cool.
Very cool.
Take pictures? I just got here. We are in some national forest. I forget now. Maybe I'll write it at the bottom. I tell you, you guys have done something right with your national forest. Beautiful old growth cedar, untouched, next to what I think is Lightning Creek. Check this out for a camp spot. Isn't this awesome? This was a wonderful campsite. We had a great night, great sleep. Once we got to sleep, that is. This is clearly somebody else's camp spot, and we weren't welcome here. Between the two deer chasing each other all night, and that went on, I don't know.
They were chasing each other for an hour.
And then when I thought it kind of settled down, we got a squirrel that's trying to get into the tent. So I eventually had to get up in the dark and chase this squirrel away that was head poking in the side of the tent. Had to push him off the tent with a stick because he wasn't going anywhere. And no, I didn't hurt him, but I had to move him away or we would never have gotten any sleep. So clearly this campsite belongs to the wild. So we'll have a coffee and move on down the road, see whatever great place we can find again. Today we continued down the Idaho BDR, but we put some miles on today. Decided to skip a section, get a little bit closer down the road. The BDR is awesome, to be honest, but it's a lot of just driving down the bush, finding a camp spot. I think we're looking for a little bit more. So we drove into Montana, and we are just inside the Idaho border. Actually, just up the treetops there is where Montana is, and we are positioned ourselves to be at the start of the Lolo motorway. So we want to check that out tomorrow. Well, good morning. We had a bit of a hard time finding a camp last night, so we grabbed the first thing that we can find, and it turns out it was awesome. But it's a pretty busy area. Of course, being a Sunday morning, it's on the weekend. We have some neighbors across the way there. I think there's some neighbors down the way. I heard a car door once or twice. And we had about 3 people drive down the road, and the road is just over there. And you could tell by their conversations, they were last minute trying to find a camp spot. They turned around, they looked, of course, all these spots are occupied, and they turned around, went up the road, and I can hear where they parked. Hats off to the people in the area being so courteous. This is a busy spot for us. We're used to seeking out solitude as far away from the crowds as possible so that we get a nice peaceful night. We didn't hear a sound. We woke up at 9 o'clock this morning and we hadn't heard anybody yet. Very impressed. Is there some kind of an unwritten rule I'm not aware of? This has been good. But now the plan is to make coffee, make our way down the trail somewhere, find another gorgeous spot, and maybe make breakfast and try to complete this trail today and position ourselves to move on for tomorrow. mountain goat.
Wow. And he's still running.
We've taken a bunch of back roads on the BDR to get to the Lolo motorway. Beautiful drive, meandering through the bush along the mountainside. Great to experience, but it doesn't make very good video, unfortunately.
Now that is straight down.
Pretty sure we stay north of it. To get up here, it's just a shelf road all the way along the mountain ridge. Pretty cool. The Lolo motorway is pretty cool. You're riding along mountain tops, if you will, in a lot of new, we saw new forest fire and old burn areas. It's really interesting to see. But I have to admit, even though the sign says there's lots of camping opportunities, there is not. So we bailed out about halfway. I think the plan is we're done. We're moving on. And we had a real hard time finding a camp spot this go around. And this is what we ended up with. And I mean, literally, we're on the side of a road. But there's no traffic. It's an isolated road. We don't expect anybody to be here tonight. It'll be a nice, quiet night either way. What did you think of Lolo motorway?
It was like a BC back roads, touring down Forestry Trunk Road kind of a thing, is what I thought it was. Lots of really nice scenery, but when you've seen the first 8 mountains and the scenery with it, it becomes repetitious. So, next.
What's next?
Heading towards Mount St. Helens.
We have been skirting a new forest fire for a little while now on the Lolo motorway, and we thought we were in the clear, but this morning, wouldn't you know it, as we woke up, the valley is filled with smoke, and it's so thick we can taste it. It's definitely time to find a highway and bail out of here. We're heading west this morning.
Yeah, we drove through that town, fire hall, the whole 9 yards.
We've been driving down hot and dusty roads, and Jean's been complaining about a lot of dust, and past couple of days complaining she's got no airflow through her HVAC system in the dash. So I thought now's a good time to check the cabin air filters. Yeah, they're low plugged. I put a brand new air filter in this thing a couple of days ago. I think I better check that one too. Yeah, it's pretty bad too. Not too bad.
Heck of a lot better.
It's not droning anymore, right?
Not to the extent it was
Like
before.
So today we took the day to regroup, get cleaned up and organized after that long day's driving yesterday. It felt good to relax a little bit before we move on. What we did do is we took a drive down the road to the creek, grabbed some creek water and warmed it up so that we could have a nice, warm, actually hot outdoor shower. Using this Coleman bag, warms up the water really nicely. Stick the bag on the roof of the Jeep and it's just like a shower at home. It was awesome, actually. Quite refreshing. We had a beautiful day, nice, hot and sunny in our own little private little camp spot here. But as the sun starts coming down, cooling off a little bit, it is time for our favorite Canadian cologne. Right, Jean?
Eau de Deet.
Eau de Deet. So as we found ourselves in Washington, we decided we gotta go see Mount St. Helens. We remember that from many, many years ago when it erupted. So we followed this road to a viewpoint, got to the end, and not at all what we expected. It has grown back so much that if there wouldn't be an information sign, you wouldn't know what had happened, I don't think. It's quite interesting to see nature reclaim what had been previously destroyed. But all of a sudden, a convoy of tourists show up and it got really busy, really noisy. Tap out, that's it for us. So we drove down the road a little ways, found a little pull off, make breakfast, make some plans. And I think we're gonna try and circle back to the north side of St. Helens, go check out around there a little bit more. We're in no rush. We're in, oh, I forget the national forest here in Washington. It is gorgeous. We plan on exploring and taking this in. What a crazy day. We thought we'd go check out St. Helens. Pretty cool to see, actually. But we figured, you know what? All we got to do is circle around and go to the north side where I think there's more touristy information, which actually we do want to see. To drive around on the west side of St. Helens, no can do. The road is closed due to a washout, apparently. So consider the other way around, but it's quite a bit longer, and no, washout as well. So we're kind of stuck. One heck of a detour to get around. So we run into a gentleman, a U.S. Forestry Service worker, who gave us some information. He says, you know what, the bypass, you'll never get through. It's actually gated. Nobody's getting through. But if you take 90, you turn off to 23, you'll make it through. And he kind of noted our Jeeps and said, yeah, you guys will be fine. So turn here, turn there. Took us all day. And we're not there yet, but we did find ourselves an awesome camp spot. Check this out. So without having a clue where we were going, 4 o'clock came around and it's time to find a camp spot. And oh wow, what a gem we've found. Great little camp spot by the creek in the shade of these big cedars. Nice, quiet, beautiful spot. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
Take some good pictures. That's cool. That's it. This is such an interesting spot. We're in a canyon with mountains on both sides of us, and the trees are so thick in here that you can't see the mountains at all. It just looks like we're in the bush. But the sun is sure slow coming up. It's about 9:30 already, and the sun is just peeking through the trees now. Last night it felt like dusk for about 3 hours, I swear. But it's been really, really nice. Quite a bit cooler at night, although about 3 o'clock in the morning it just warmed up like crazy, and kept me up for a little bit, and then it cooled off again and it was good. So slept in again this morning. We are in the middle of about a 4-hour detour around St. Helens. Maybe there's a shorter way, but if there is, I don't know. And we'd like to continue to make it to the north side of St. Helens this morning. How much further? I have no clue. I don't really know where we are. We just kind of took that road, this road, on the advice of a gentleman yesterday, and we find ourselves in the middle of nowhere. So, plan today is to find St. Helens, check that out, take some pictures, I'm sure, and then find another spot to camp somewhere. Hopefully as good as this. What do you think, Jean? Camp spots have been good?
Yes, they've been very good.
What the hell? This road doesn't show on my map.
There's a viewpoint thing off to the right.
And it's windy! Such a fantastic viewpoint. Rainier behind me. Adams that way. Hood over that way. And of course, St. Helens.
Is that a river in the valley of the bottom here? Do you want to try and find a camp spot here?
If there's one there, sure.
Look at the size of these trees.
First spot we looked, we found this gorgeous little camp spot And behind the campsite is this little trail that leads down to the river. What a gorgeous spot. Beautiful evening walk here. Massive trees, beautiful views. Sunset was awesome, but we kind of missed it. Just gorgeous.
What?
My gate does not want to hold up anymore.
We need a stick, don't we? We need a stick.
Another gorgeous morning, and I think we're gonna sit and enjoy a coffee as the sun's coming up in these tall, beautiful trees. It's so green, it's so lush. I don't think I've ever been in a forest like this. Just absolutely gorgeous. We've spent the better part of the past 4 days just traveling back towards Canada, and tonight we find ourselves just inside BC for the first time back. We've basically traveled national forest to national forest, starting in Gifford-Pinchot National Forest, and we used the Washington BDR, Okanagan Wenatchee.
Yes. And
We bypassed what towns? We bypassed Yakima and Wenatchee. We took some fuel at Kashmir, grabbed the Washington BDR just north of that, found ourselves a gorgeous little camp spot, traveled along the BDR, and quite simply, it's a beautiful place to drive. It's really enjoyable, but doesn't make for very good video.
no.
The Washington BDR was awesome, but there was a lot of smoke from the forest fires in the Osoyoos area, and quite honestly, the views were non-existent. We couldn't see the skies, couldn't see the valleys, so we checked out a fire lookout, and from there we couldn't see, and we talked to some folks there, and they were saying that typically the view is just awesome, and we were really missing out.
Well, we're trying to be lost, so.
So at this point we decided it's time to head north, take a turn east, and get away from the smoke.
So we basically just traveled back to Canada, slowly enjoying along the way, finding a nice camp spot here and there. Nothing epic. Can't say we had a campfire by the water anywhere or by a creek. It was basically mountaintop to mountaintop.
Correct.
But they were nice just the same. traveling by pavement between national forests. Colville National Forest, I think, was the last one. And from there we traveled north to cross the border into Canada using small border crossing, back roads. I don't remember what it was called.
Oh, I love this.
South of Fruitvale. Very easy border crossing.
Yes. Wanatne? Wanahate or something like that.
I'd have to look at the map, but I forget. Maybe I'll write it at the bottom. And now we find ourselves traveling back towards Alberta along Highway 3. And as Highway 3 weaves up and down through the map, if you will, we're kind of cutting off the bumps. And we find ourselves middle of nowhere along Teepee Creek, I think it's called.
Yes. Teepee Creek, FSR.
I believe you're right. Found this little spot by the creek just in time. Now we're gonna wait for this rain to pass, and I think it's done already. Make some supper.
Relax.
Take it easy. Have a good night's sleep again. And head back towards Alberta tomorrow. In the meantime, we'll enjoy a drink. I think we're gonna make some burgers for supper.
Yes.
Burgers and a salad. Probably an early night. And back to the Rockies tomorrow. So what time did we get up, Gene?
Late.
How late, Gene?
An hour later than normal.
what time is that?
9.
How come we woke up at 9, Gene?
Because I slept in.
How come you slept in?
Because normally I don't.
After sleeping on mountaintops for the last 2 or 3 times, with the noise of the creek here, it was a lot cooler here tonight. And Gene didn't sleep very well a couple nights ago. We caught up on sleep. I opened my eyes, it was 9 o'clock, couldn't believe it. Beautiful morning. It's going to be a lazy morning this morning. But that's okay, we don't have far to go. Back in Alberta, we're going to take it easy on the last part of our trip. Just as we finished cooking supper, the skies opened up for a typical mountain shower. Hunkered down, enjoyed a wonderful meal, and we have a treat in mind. We put in the fridge, in the ARB fridge in Spirewood. We've never done this before. We're not too sure if it's going to work. How'd it turn out, Jean?
Really good. It tastes delicious.
Hard ice cream that is now soft ice cream. Oh, that's good.
It is. Very creamy.
Well, this morning's not going well. I'm out of propane, I can't make coffee. Good thing I have a backup stove because I sure don't have any backup propane. And on top of that, the exhaust has broke on my Jeep again. We're off to a rough start.
Sorry, it's a rough morning.
If I can get it to stay together, hold it together with a clamp maybe. Exhaust repair by Pepsi.
Pop cans to hold the joint and 3 hose clamps to hold it together, and hopefully that'll get us home.
Not to mention we broke a spring. It's been a rough trip.
this is new. After 2 weeks of fire bans, we're finally in an area that the fire bans are lifted. So tonight, as long as the rain holds off, we're gonna have a fire. Oh dear God. Not all of that.
No, you can have that, you can have the last one.
I'd have a dart and have a gun.
It's raining. It's like, uh-oh.
and the weekend is coming, people are going to want to park at the other end.
It's been a gorgeous morning. It was a 2 coffee day for sure. We spent quite a bit of time just relaxing by the river. And even though it was a great day, this is kind of that worst day. This is that day that we head back home. That's the end of our holiday. This is it. Along the way, we've met some fantastic people, saw some great places, enjoyed some beautiful campsites. Spot after spot was always great. We definitely achieved my goal of going day by day without plans, and now we find ourselves right where we started. And this is where it ends. Time to clean up, pack up, and head back home. You're gonna be famous. You're gonna be on the YouTube. Easy, girls. I don't think they want to be on YouTube.